Do this.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another interview from People from Cleveland Are Dope. Today's guest and dope person from Cleveland is Erica Maxwell. And
Hello.
hi, Erica. It's good to see you.
You too, Erica.
I miss you. I don't get to see you enough.
I know. I miss you.
Okay, so just by way of introduction, Erica Maxwell is the proud mother of Jessica and Ronald. In addition to being a first-time author, she is an active member of the Chandler, Arizona community. She serves on the boards of the Chandler Human Relations Commission, the Arizona Juvenile Justice Commission, Children's Museum of Phoenix, and Children's Action Alliance. With over 25 years of experience as an educator, Erica served as the very first Associate Superintendent of Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion for Arizona's Department of Education. Please welcome Erica. Thank you
Hey,
for
hey.
coming on.
Thank you
I
for
was
having
so
me.
excited, excuse me, so excited to see that you have written a book with your daughter, Jessica.
Yes. Yes.
So the book is called Beauty with a Birthmark.
Yes.
We're going to talk about that in a few minutes.
Yep. Beauty with
First,
the birthmark.
there you go. Okay, I can see it. What a cute little girl. Shout
It's
out
her.
to your illustrator.
Thank you. She's Nigerian. It's
The
all
pictures
Black
are
girl magic.
beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Excuse me. So first, tell us where you grew up in Cleveland.
My clock is playing in the back, so I can put it on mute for a moment. So I'm from the 216 when there was only 216 area code, right? And so I grew up in Cleveland Heights, right on the border of East Cleveland and Cleveland Heights. The school district in East Cleveland was so good that even though it was Cleveland Heights, those residents there wanted to still have their students attend East Cleveland schools. So it was still East Cleveland School Districts. I started off at Caledonia Elementary, Caledonia Cougars. And I remember Mr. Martinelli, who was my principal. And I had a choice. My parents gave me a choice in the third grade. Either I could start Catholic school at Christ the King on Noble Road, or I could finish elementary at Caledonia and then go to Catholic school. So I decided to go to Christ the King, CKS, Christ the King School Monarchs, with my brother. I started in the fourth grade and he was already, I think, in seventh or eighth grade. So started there, finished off there, left, graduated and went to, or I should say was promoted to ninth grade and attended Beaumont and moved to Bedford Heights from Cleveland Heights. When in Cleveland Heights, I was on Ravine Drive between Taylor and Noble Roads. There used to be a gas station on the corner. And gosh, I can't think of the name of it. But so anyway, I digress. So went to Beaumont, moved from Cleveland Heights to Bedford Heights, but still attended Beaumont and graduated from Beaumont High School, Beaumont School for Girls. There are a group of us that live out here that are friends. And then I went on to matriculate from Kent State University with a bachelor's in 93 and then a master's in 96 in education. Spent a lot of time in East Cleveland though, because my grandmother lived on North Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
She lived, there was the Rexall on the corner. She lived in North Taylor, just beyond Euclid there, the little short street. So I would spend lots of time with her. So I grew up there and it was really just down the street, just down the hill from our home and on a Ravine Drive. So yeah.
Okay. So where did you like to hang out when you were growing up?
The park down the street. park. There was a park because it was a really quiet street, and the ravine was across the street from our house. So I like to go there. And then once they put a basketball court in, my parents were a little more strict about me going down there. They didn't really like me going down there as much. Forest Hills Park, beautiful. So enjoyed going there. It was just a beautiful place to go. I remember being in a summer camp there. So those are two of the places I liked. And then again, it was always a treat to go to Geauga Lake in the summertime.
Oh my gosh. My best friend in Cleveland still sends me pictures of them tearing Geauga Lake down, just getting rid of the final remnants of Geauga Lake. And it just, oh, Geauga
And
Lake was just, that was it for us when we were kids. And it was nice because it didn't take that long to get there. But when you were a
yeah,
kid, it seemed like it
yeah,
did.
right,
Even though it
right,
wasn't that far. But
right.
like as soon as you're going down Aurora Road, and you all of a sudden you start to see the roller coasters. It's like, oh my God, they were almost.
Yep, you saw the point, the needle point there.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, oh, we're gonna get close. So that's what I spent most of my time in East Cleveland, in Cleveland Heights. I would ride my bike. I had a friend that I'm still good friends with that lived on Orinoco, so sometimes I would ride over there. It was just a great place to grow up.
It was. That is a very true statement. I loved riding my bikes with my friends, and
Hmm.
we played at Westwood School, which was at the corner of our street, even though it was in Warrensville technically and not Cleveland. But that's where we had our playground, and um yeah, it was a good time growing up. And then we were close to Randall Park Mall, so we spent a
Yes,
lot of time there.
the mall. Yes,
It was
and
like
Westwood,
Saturday, the mall, and then Southgate Skate.
Southgate Skates. Now Westwood, did they repurposed that?
Maybe
Somebody told me. I'm sorry.
I said maybe so. I'm not sure.
Yeah, yeah, you were right by the mall. Randall Park Mall. My brother used to go there every weekend. Take the 41 on Noble, go straight on up to the mall.
Right.
Yeah, that was his hangout for sure.
Ooh, fun
Those were the
times, fun
fun
times.
times. They'll never come again.
um, who or what influenced you the most to become an educator?
Probably my parents. And I was just telling somebody just last night, as you know, my brother lives here. So we had gone out, and I said, he was my first student. And so I always knew I wanted to be either a teacher or a nurse. And the math needed for nursing, I was like, nah. So I'm going into education. Yeah.
Right, I feel you on that. That math kind of turned me off from becoming a doctor.
Mm-hmm. It's
Math and
serious.
chemistry.
Yes.
Oof.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And my son is in nursing school, interestingly enough.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Wonderful. You definitely need good nurses.
Too. Yes, absolutely. So I never veer from the education path.
Hmm.
Oh, and it's proven me well. Yeah, well, it's been a lot. It's totally different than when I started teaching in 1993 in Bedford at Aurora School, and they just tore that school down. As a matter of fact, I was visiting my dad. I surprised him for Father's Day 2 years ago, and they were tearing it down. So I got to get some last pictures, and I so wish I could have gone inside, but yeah. So,
Oh,
mhm.
oh well. Yeah, things always change. That's one thing that's certain.
Yes, nothing stays the same.
Okay, so let's talk about what inspired you to write this wonderful book, Beauty with the Birthmark,
So,
or who inspired you?
right. My daughter Jessica, who is the main character and on the cover, inspired me to write the book. When she shared her experience about what she felt about her birthmark, how she felt. I felt that too. We were on the way to her friend's soccer game. She was going to spend some time with a friend of hers. And we're walking. I'm not even sure how we got on the subject. And then she says, you know, my birthmark, I hate it. It's ugly. You know, it's ugly too. And I really, it pained me to hear her say that. And I know she never really complained about kids teasing her and things to us. I happen to be the principal at the school that she attended, but for some time, and I just know how it is to have to be different. And so I looked. She was my main inspiration, and then I did some research, and I saw there were two children's books about birthmarks. One, the main character was an animal, and the other was a white male. And so representation matters. And still, we made a lot of progress in the world of literature when it comes to children's and young adult literature. But we still have a long way to go because the main characters that are Black still just about 12%.
Hmm.
So, you know, it used to be less. We are moving the needle slowly, but that was also important to me.
Okay. So, tell us about the process. Um, what did you go through in order to get the book published? How long was your
So,
journey?
yes, the journey, because it is a journey. It is. So I started writing, and recently someone inquired about, so, you know, just put pen to paper. Just put it to paper. Don't, you know, unadulterated. Don't revise it or anything. For just write things down. So I wanted it to be in rhyming form, and I just wrote many drafts. I submitted a draft to a local publishing company here. I got feedback and made revisions, picked it up, put it down. I mean, it was there were years. You know, I'm gonna say, you know, 6 to 8 years, really, because when you're working full time, it takes time to really devote to this. And when you're working full time, for me at least, you know, we're often depleted by the time it comes to doing and cultivating our talents and skills and the projects that we really want to work on. So revise it some more. Finally got it to where I said, this is it right here. You know, Jessica, and you know, we talked about it, discussed what are your thoughts, and got feedback. And then finally looked and found an author because I really wanted it to be Black women, as much as possible, with their hands and some type of involvement in the production of the book. So found an author that is Nigerian that I never met. I only saw her on Zoom once, and that was after we finished the project. I sent her the text,
Mhm.
typed the text, what I want to see, and she created it. And it's based on Jessica's experiences and all the things that she's able to do and accomplish with her birthmark. And it also talks about moles, freckles, scars, different types of marks, and the positive part of it.
Right, right. And that's the thing that struck me was the whole book is it's a celebration and it's an education all at once. Um, because you're celebrating differences and
Hmm.
beauty in
Yes.
different forms. And you're also telling adults and children alike, you know, who a dermatologist is and what they
Yeah.
do and the different types of marks that um, we can have on our bodies and what they look like, what they're called. So I think it's a wonderful book, and I hope that anybody who has a loved one with a birthmark or not even will will pick up
Right.
this book and learn something and just enjoy because
Yes.
it
Yeah.
really is a good read.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And so once got the illustrations done and revisions with that, put it down again because I started a new position. And then in the face of adversity, then it was like, yes, you have to get this done now. And the encouragement of friends. And so getting it to the finish line, I'm not gonna lie, was hard. Like once I got it, the illustrations were completed and it was like, okay, this page goes here. You still have to get it formatted to become a book and then to, be on Amazon. So I self-published, but we do have a black publishing company out here called Amber Books. And Yvonne Rose, I had spoken with her years before when I first began writing this book, and reached back out to her, and she really got me to the finish line. She is like, okay, so I'll get send me what you have, the PDF, and then she sends it and gets it formatted and on Amazon, Barnes and Noble. So that just happened last year, and it was published in March of last year. So of this year actually, soon to be last year. So yeah, yes.
And you've gone on a book tour, correct?
Well,
We've
I've
had
only
book
gone.
signings, I should say that.
I've had book signings here in Chandler, and also went to Cleveland back at the end of September. My daughter and I, Jessica, and so it was wonderful. Went to the Barnes and Noble and on Chagrin because I didn't realize, I was like, there are hardly any Barnes and Nobles. And so yeah, so we want to go on more tours. So we're really focusing on during school visits because this past summer I spent time developing some standards line activities to engage students in the content of the book.
Mhm. That's great.
Yeah,
Any plans to write another?
I get that a lot. Yes.
Good.
Yes, absolutely. I enjoyed this book. I'm enjoying it still. Sometimes it's still surreal, but yes, once I really get the uh, marketing that I really want for this book and get it out there and more widely known about, I definitely want to start. And I've written like 2 lines for the next one.
Any hints on the topic?
It will be about a uniqueness
Okay,
within children. So yes.
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
So what about you career-wise? I went through a little bit about your bio and we talked about your time as a principal and what are you doing these days?
Well, I'm a consultant. So I left the State Department of Education here and started my own business. And it's been wonderful. So I was, it's AHA Alliance, AHA Alliance stands for Awareness, Honor, and Action. And I really look at the lens of equity, diversity, and inclusion, working with teams, governmental, non-governmental agencies. How do you become more diverse, equitable, and inclusive with the populations you serve within your teams? How bringing that cultural awareness, how do we honor everyone and acknowledge them, and then the action behind it.
Mhm.
So once you know or get data and say, hey, this is where we need to go, this is where we are, what are the actionable items that will help people accountable
Mhm.
for moving forward and progressing, becoming more equitable, diverse, and inclusive. Because we talk about it, but the action has to be there. And that's the part, all of those, work together. And so I provide consulting in those areas.
That's great. That's wonderful. I've had a few DEI trainings, and it's really an eye opener because we don't realize the different ways that we all have privileges.
Yes.
And you're like, oh, that's considered a privilege? I didn't really think about it that way. But I think it's good for everyone to be reminded of the ways that we have a leg up over somebody else for whatever reason. Right. And trying to level the playing field and promote equity is important. And I hope that people think of it as more than just a trend.
Yes.
Bandwagon that they have to jump on.
Right. Yes. And equity is about outcomes, plain and simple. So how do we ensure that outcomes are positive across all populations, right? We can't not just having this group succeed at 80% and then the other group is only performing at 20%. How do we make sure that we have the positive outcomes, comparable positive outcomes across populations? And so that's what I do, and I enjoy it.
Yeah, that's great. And I think we also have to constantly remind people of the costs associated with not moving forward in a more equitable way.
Yes, absolutely. I agree. So, yeah, so I've been doing that since March of 2021.
That's good. That's good and noble work.
Thank you. It's exhausting. It is exhausting. And I just been fortunate and blessed to be retained by a client. And then I have my sub-consultant lead facilitator on another for the city of Tempe here locally. So yes, I'm looking to expand next year in 2023, which sounds so futuristic. But yeah, things are going well in that. I know. Insane.
Okay, so if anybody wants to reach out to you, where can they find you?
You can reach out to me directly at 480-305-4892. Beautywithabirthmark.com, all one word. AHA Alliance, AHAalliance.net. And yeah, so both of those websites have contact pages as well. So, but yeah, my phone number that I provided is, you can text me, call me on my phone number, and yeah, so I will pick up even if I don't know what the numbers.
Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's so good to see you. And Clevelanders are everywhere doing big, big things. Like I said, there's a group of people out here that I know personally and that I graduated from high school or attended high school with. My brother lives out here. It's a whole Cleveland crew, believe me.
Right. Okay. Well, it's been great talking to you, and thank you again
for joining. Thank you for having me.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.